name is Salim Vuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Republic of Kenya. Dear Kenyans, we are ready to host CHAN 2024 tournament. Let us show the world our patriotism, our passion for football, and our warm hospitality. This is not just a tournament, it is a celebration of our nation's pride. Join us in Nairobi as we welcome the continent and the world to experience the thrill of CHAN 2024. It is our time to shine. Let us make CHAN 2024 a great success and rally behind our team, Harambe Stars. Hashtag Jaza Study.
A very good morning to you and welcome. This is Good Morning Kenya on this 4th day of August, where we as Kenyans are a happy lot. We are very happy from the results of the game. That is Harambe Stars, the Kenyan team versus DRC Congo. And by the way, DRC Congo are 2-time champions of the CHAN games. So it was a pleasure for Harambe Stars to get to win that particular game. Welcome to the program. Victor, Mike, how does this feel just knowing that at least Harambe Stars started off on a good note, you know, started off with a win? That's amazing.
Oh yes, it's very encouraging. It also gives Kenyans hopes that the next games that follow, that Harambe Stars will have, they're going to be as exciting, and we can expect more wins as a country. And it's a good start. It's starting on a high note, really. Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Actually, most people thought that Harambe Stars was going to lose on their first match, but it turned out to be one of the best match.
Yes.
The pressure was there. I think Harambe Stars currently has a very good squad depth. That we can give it to McCarthy.
Yes.
If you've noticed, there's some notable fixtures missing from the national team. The likes of Engineer Lunga, if you know them, is not in the lineup. But then now, that lineup, I think, has got a very squad depth. At the beginning of the game, DRC tried to push Harambe Stars towards their corner, towards the box. But I think when they got the rhythm of the match, again, they flexed a bit, they loosened up, and they opened the field. That is now where we got that solitary goal that is now making us to be number 2 in the log.
Which is it's really amazing. And that's also what I call the power of the crowd. You know, just the fact that the fans were there cheering them on. They definitely had to give us a win. They definitely had to give us that win.
Kenyans have faith in Harambe Stars, given the kind of appearance they made at the stadium, the way walitokea. They have faith that we can win this. Actually, we can.
We can. We definitely can. So we have our next game on Thursday. That will be against Angola. And the game will be happening at exactly 7 p.m. So let's just do the same thing. Let's go rally up and go support the boys for sure. Now, that aside, today being a Monday, you know that we normally have a Family Check as one of our segments right here on the show. And today we are talking matters money. And our question is money the key to a successful marriage? That is the question that we will be asking you, and we'll be getting the man's perspective on this. I'll be joined in studio by Joshua Karanja, who's a mentor and analyst, and we'll also be having Mike, who's a trainer, a mentor, and the CEO Pro Mentors Africa. I'll be having this conversation with Mike as well. Mike, do you think money is the key to a successful marriage in the modern day?
Money affords convenience, but I don't think it's the primary reason why marriages are successful.
Okay.
But it is important. Money is important. It affords convenience. But on the list of the things that make it successful, it's a lot of things. And that is a conversation that we are looking forward to you being part of, because we want to hear your opinion and contribution to the topic. So get ready. When the time comes, the phones will be open.
For sure, for sure. Victor?
All right. Absolutely. So today being a Monday, we are talking about iron politics, and let's take a look at state of politics in the country, everything that we need to understand. And of course, my guest already in studio, Dr. John Herus, who is the Deputy Governor of Turkana County, will be here on set. Wakili Philip Langat will be here, as well as Honorable Mark Ndingo. The three wise men will be on set shortly. We'll also be taking a look at football. I want to ask them, how are they feeling about football? Football. All right. That's coming up shortly after this. Football.
Let me interest you with a quote. Before we go for this break. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. You know, as Kenyans, we have a dream of winning this tournament. So the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That is Eleanor Roosevelt.
All right.
All right.
So let's take a very short break. We'll be right back.
In today's world, securing a job after university is increasingly difficult. Many graduates like Faith face harsh job rejections and a tough economy. Despite her hopes for a stable job post-graduation, Faith struggled to find work, leading to her to consider starting a business instead.
You're looking for jobs, there are no jobs, you're sending applications, you can't get even the responses. And so that led me to find a way of surviving. And that's when I ventured into selling laptops.
During this time, Faith connected with her friend Caleb, who ran a small computer sales and repair business. Recognizing a partnership opportunity, Faith brought fresh ideas while Caleb contributed his experience. Together, they embarked on an entrepreneurial journey.
Fresh ideas and also the zeal from someone new.
Setting up the business proved challenging. They needed to find a prime location, reliable suppliers, and raise funds for rent and stock.
The business is capital intensive, and that meant that I have to look for capital. And also starting out, especially here in Nairobi, it's very expensive because you'll need to have connections on where to get stock, on where to get the capital, on where to start from. And so even getting people to work with you through the journey was a bit challenging, but through and through, we have been able to climb the ladder.
They chose to sell computers due to the growing reliance on technology, which they believed had significant market potential.
Right now, the world is all about technology. So you need to have a computer to do everything. Right now, you need to have a computer and all the electronics. You can't stay without a gadget. So that is something that is needed. It's almost a basic need nowadays.
Trust was crucial to their success. As friends, they divided responsibilities based on their strengths and ensured the shop remained open even when one was absent. They tackled problems together, leading to innovative solutions for smooth operations.
We act like a pilot and a co-pilot. So whenever I'm not there, the co-pilot is able to do everything that I can do. So we have equal roles, and everybody knows what they are good at, and they have perfected the places where they're good at, and so we're able to complement each other in that way.
Understanding each other. Yes. So, of course, I have some ideas. My partner has other ideas, but we have to understand one another so that everything can run smoothly.
As competition increased, they needed to differentiate themselves. They expanded services by offering repairs, a lipa pole payment plan, and door-to-door deliveries. These additions attracted more customers and helped build a trusted brand.
We don't only sell computers, we also do repairs. We also offer payment plans. So like when you come to purchase a laptop from us, we take you through the different types that we have. After that, we're able to give you options. You choose the option that you like the most, and then we take you through the lipa pole plan. We have lipa pole plans for laptops, and we also have repair services whereby we do not only sell laptops, but we also repair. If you have a laptop that has an issue, we can also repair that for you. And we have services like delivery services.
Starting the business transformed Faith's life. Overcoming job rejection, she found joy in independence and success, earning more than she expected and feeling grateful for taking the risk.
And so one of the things that I know I might not do as a person is go back to be a career person, because for sure if I'm going to be a career person, that career might not pay me the much that I need to survive, especially in Nairobi and in the current economic status that we are in. Yeah.
Faith's online skills helped expand their customer base through social media advertising, customer reviews, and online orders with delivery options.
And you see, for a fresh graduate, she's well conversant with online marketing. So she has taught me a lot.
Now successful entrepreneurs, Faith and Caleb advise youths not to wait for employment, but to seek alternative paths. They encourage aspiring entrepreneurs to identify market trends rather than blindly starting any business, as maintaining one can be challenging.
That you feel like giving up, the days that you feel like you don't know, you don't have a direction, but at the end of the day, just sit down and ask yourself, then what? If I sit here and wait, who is coming to save me? Definitely with our current state of the economic status that we are in right now, there's no one who is coming to save you. So the only thing you need to do is just start. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, just start and be disciplined and be consistent as much as possible.
You can check whatever is moving online, because you see, you can start a business, but then you will not find clients, because whatever you're selling is not needed at the moment. So you need to have something that if you buy to sell, you'll find clients instantly.
All right, welcome back. So let's get into it and talk about politics, being the 4th day of August 2025. My name is Victor Lo. If you're joining us, please talk to us on our social media platforms at Victor Lo, at KBC Channel 1. And of course, the hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. My guest already in studio. Let me start with Wakili Philip Langat, who is a lawyer. Let me make it clear. High Court of Kenya. Republic, right?
You're right.
Exactly. You could be a lawyer, but somewhere in... Karibu sana Wakili.
Asante.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
And of course, also joining us is Excellency Dr. John Erus, who is the Deputy Governor of the great county of Turkana. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante.
And Honorable Mark Ndingo, who is also a political analyst. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, let me start with you. We talked about football. Even our set is all about green, what you can see. We're in the mood. Mark, what do you make of our performance yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, I think our Harambe Stars did Kenya proud. It was a great start.
Yes.
A great goal by Austin Odhiambo.
Yes.
Yeah, and it came at the right time. Just at the close of the first half. Yeah, our team, I think, started on a slow phase.
Yes.
They were a bit nervous, and I think they had some issues with the stage fright. Yeah, because most of the boys have never been to such a huge tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was their first game, and I think it was
they made it well
deserved. The win was well deserved. And,
okay.
We hope they are going to continue with the same spirit. And come Thursday, we pray that they are going to get at least a positive result so that they can go to the next stage. Yeah.
Okay. They played one of the toughest team, which has won Chan twice. So this is a morale booster for the national team.
Absolutely. I will not disagree.
Yeah.
But I also want to bring another twist to it. I think for the first time, given the political temperatures in the country, I saw the unity of purpose, fresh start, good feeling. I saw cohesion.
Yeah.
And I think beyond just the refreshment is the sigh of relief that we are connected and bonded as one people, as one nation. And that was really exemplified by the turnout of the fans, the exchanges, the mood.
Yeah.
And it was something that I really appreciated, and I hope that we have more of those kind of engagements to bring people together.
Okay. And Wakili, when you look at football, it was quite unprecedented, but the expectation is still high for the national team.
Well, absolutely, Victor. I want to agree with my two colleagues.
Yes.
That for the first time, for a very long time,
we are used to being beaten, for lack of a better word. I remember even there is a time when we were beaten by, I think, Somali.
Yes.
And it was
beaten by Sudan.
Eritrea. So for me, we have come a long way in terms of footballing in this country. And yesterday was one of those days where we would say Kenya has come of age in terms of football, considering that we were up against a very big team. DRC is a very big team. It has exported some of the biggest players to Premier League and some of the biggest leagues in this in the world. So for me, it is a moment for Kenya. And just to echo what my colleagues have also said, we are in a the political temperatures of this country. Sometimes they are boiling too hot. So for that moment when Harambe Stars won their first match, I think it also brought confidence to the nation, and also, kind of calmed down the political temperatures. We must agree that politics in this country and the way we run our politics is very chaotic. But when we have such situations where we as a country, we are having, we are proud moments, then it seems it stabilizes our politics.
Football for peace. Actually, people across the world, football is always used to champion for peace across the world. There are those peace tournaments. Even some of the seasoned players do come together. The likes of Ronaldo, Diego Maradona, during their days, they would come together for charity events. So football is a unifying factor. So let's come back when you talk about politics. Mark, what has stood out for you in the last 1 week, politically speaking? The country, we are gearing to some by-elections, all right? And IBC is actually working on certain parameters on how to handle this. So let me just start by getting your view. What has been key highlights in the past 1 week?
I think on the first 1 week, we've been expecting a lot, but being a week of the last week of August, I think nothing much happened. On the political side of it, it has been a little bit quiet.
Yes.
With the absence of the former deputy president. Not much has been heard of, apart from the empowerment visits by the deputy president, Kidiki. But there was also something else that also caught some interest with the Kenyans. That was the meeting of the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, with the president, President Ruto at State House. They've not been meeting for quite some time. I think the last time they met was in Kiambu, and Kenyans expected a lot from them because that time the country was not heading to the right direction because of the demonstrations. But seeing the former president at State House and happy with the current president, I think it has given the Kenyans some hope of some unit of some sort. So
Is it hope really? That was I mean, it was just expected.
It was expected, but you see the way the photos were sent to the media, I think there is much you can read from the photos. So there is a lot we can learn from them. And we expect to see maybe some happenings in the coming weeks.
What happenings? Tell us more. What happenings?
We expect,
based on that meeting,
we expect to get some details of the meeting because
that meeting was about SADC.
It was about the peace negotiations, but when you look at the former president being walked around by President Ruto, I think you can't fail to read some politics in it. Although it was a different agenda, then we need also to be alive to the fact that these are leaders who have not been in good terms for the last few months. So I think for their meeting and sharing a podium, I think it can give some kind of a hope of the two leaders maybe working together. You don't know.
You don't know.
Politics is about possibilities and impossibilities. So I think
you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we are getting deeper into that discussion. So stay with us.
It's here, Chan 2024, like never before. And as always, sisi wote wa Kenya, Harambe Stars, East or West, home is best. Mazena hope watafunga at least game mbili. So tuko pale Harambe Stars big time. And of course na KBC, si ndio? Sawa.
All right, welcome back. So, Deputy Governor Turkana, in 1 minute, what has been your key highlights in the past 1 week, politically speaking, and in any other aspect?
Politically speaking, we saw a conflict of interest bill assented. We saw DRC, Rwanda, economic cooperation agreement. Definitely the statesmanship between President Ruto and former President Uhuru Kenyatta. In Turkana, we actually celebrated the first initiative for peace between Turkana and Toposa in Southern Sudan. So to add on to what was happening, those are some of the highlights that I saw has a significant contribution to politics. And it really demonstrates also the standing of Kenya in the region and also the influence that Kenya has in terms of its politics, in terms of its contribution towards peace in the region, and also overall things which we cannot really ignore about the standing of Kenya in influencing economic growth in the region as well.
Yeah. Wakili?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, of course, we have seen a lot of happenings in our country. But, Victor, allow me to say something. You know, I've just looked at this newspaper for today, and I've realized that it is very sensationalist. Sorry to say, but you know, yesterday we just we won a match against DRC. But looking at the newspaper, the first headline of the Standard newspaper is very alarmist. I mean, you've put the picture of Musando, the late Juma, and another lady there, you know, and with a big bold headline saying "Murder's gone cold." It's something wrong in the way we bring out stories. And I'm not accusing the media. The media is doing their job, fantastic job, but we must also be very careful in the way in the manner we deliver news in this country, because it's very sensationalist. I mean, we were supposed to be having pictures of our superstars and how they have won their first match. But be that as it may, and that aside, and to come back to what you've just asked us, politics is about PR, is about perceptions. When you look at President Kenyatta, the former president, walking around with the current president in State House, it is more of a confidence booster, if you ask me. And it goes into the kind of relationship that our leaders should be exemplifying. We saw first, of course, we have Raila Odinga right now in the government, or if you may, in the warmest side of opposition.
Yes.
And now we have Uhuru shaking hands and walking around in State House with Ruto. It is a message of goodwill to the people of Kenya. And that is what Kenya sometimes, that is what we want sometimes. We want to see our leaders, behaving in a cordial way. Because it's not just an issue of, what I would call competitive politics, or what I would call aggressive politics. Sometimes we just need that kind of environment, a situation where, we're bringing all the political players together to pacify, to bring the mood of the country, to manage the mood and the expectations of Kenyans. And I also want to touch on something which happened and which the DG has also mentioned. Just recently, the president signed the conflict of interest bill into law.
Yeah.
And what that means is that for the longest time, Victor, we have always had politicians or people in power using their positions to solicit for business or to do business with entities where they are presiding over. And that is for the longest. So this bill, when the president has entered this into law, it means that we are going to cut down on this kind of corruption.
Yeah.
You realize, for example, you have someone, the big man somewhere, getting tenders, or his or her companies getting tenders from the same government entity where they are presiding over. So those are some of the highlights that we must appreciate as far as accountability in this country is concerned. And also to mention that there is also another bill, I think it is the National Social Protection, which was also assented into law by the president. This is also another bill that seeks to protect those people who are vulnerable. The vulnerable in the community. We've had people who are not able to, the people living with disabilities, the aged, people who have, vulnerable people. And again, that has now been consolidated into law. And I think the government has introduced the National Bureau for Protection, like a body, an organization that will specifically deal with these people. These are some of the gains that we are making as a country. But if we don't take a keen look at it, we might get carried away by the politics of the day and leave out the most important facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask a question to the three of you gentlemen. We've seen a lot of movements across the country, and correct me if I'm wrong. Are we not using the empowerment program that is being run by some politicians across the country as a political move? Mark, let me start with you. What would you term that? The empowerment. Do we need empowerment as a country where we have got laws, structures, we have got counties, devolved units, where politicians use whatever resources from whichever sources we don't know, but going across the country in the name of empowerment? Have we gotten to a point where, as a country, we are not in a position to empower ourselves nationally?
Yeah, thank you, Victor. I think what is happening now is, yes, they are calling it empowerment.
Yes.
And it's good to empower people. But I think we need to have the right structure, a right structured way of empowering our people. Because I know with the politicians, they would like to call it empowerment, but if you listen to what is whatever we are getting from the community after these empowerments, it's coming out to be something like giving handouts to our people, as opposed to giving them something that can empower them. I think we are coming from the year of 2024 when we had the revolution of the Gen Zs, and some of the things they were questioning were the fundraising. But if you look at this, the empowerment program being done by the Deputy President, it's more or less of fundraising where they are giving huge sums of money to our people, but at the end of the day, whatever the people are getting is something something that cannot even last, which is not sustainable. I think what we need is to have something that can be sustainable. And I think I'll give an example of one of the manifestos of ODM, that is Azimio. It had proposed that it was going to be giving 6,000 per month to our people, to the youth and the elderly. Yeah. I think if we can implement something like that, it is going to be more helpful than giving our people 20,000, whereby they are sharing in a group of 20. Somebody going home with 1,000. I think that is not empowerment unless we want to do politics with it. But you know, with the politicians and the kind of politics we are used to in our country, we cannot wish away that. So I think they want to achieve empowerment, but at the same time, they want to do politics with it. So I think
which one precedence? Empowerment or politics?
We need to find a way of empowering our people, and we move it away from politics. Because if you give it to politicians, politicians will always do it in a way that is going to benefit them and not the people.
Don't we have ways of empowerment? I mean, look at it this way. Why women groups? We don't have any other group because it's always women empowerment. So we don't have youth empowerment, we don't have men empowerment. Don't we have a national empowerment program?
I actually, one of the person who believes that having a structured and a much more clear framework of supporting various groups is key. Let me give an example. Politically, it's sometimes challenging to balance between electorate's expectations and your intention and your own expectation. And so whatever you need to do to address the relevance between those two also has a way in which your public image is defined in terms of leadership, in terms of your ability to organize and mobilize people. But are there ways we can continue to do that? And I agree with Mheshimiwa that delinking this with direct political benefits is important, because we need to do what is expected of us to be able to organize the people. This is how we are looking at empowerment in Turkana. We are defining value chains that are critical in areas where we mobilize communities, registering them into cooperatives. And within those cooperatives, we use them as avenues for allocating resources, either directly or indirectly through the systems of government, or through other ways in which that money can be given directly to support those value chains.
Yeah.
That does not mean that if women groups, which appear to be much more organized, or youth groups, in some sense, we cannot not do what the empowerment, like me being invited, maybe for Thanksgiving with a group, to help them to resource mobilize for specific intention. And one of the ways in which we are looking at it, and we think it could be a model that the country can also adopt, is also to go ahead and link these groups into beyond just the value chain, that we also link them to a credit facility, which is de-risked. And in this case, we'd risk their businesses that is attached to the value chains by ensuring that allocations of funds to boost them goes through those channels. For us, I think that is one way of looking at how we can empower collectively. But there is also one thing I wanted to mention, which about the Gen Z movement. The models of empowerment for young people, and I'm speaking from the perspective that I have been in social change movement as a young person. And one of the things that would probably make sense is the way we are delinked from when we talk about youth engagement, youthful engagement, when we talk about opportunities for employment and how those directly influences what kind of actions that we take. You realize that a lot of those value chains where we want to push these young people are completely delinked, either from the institutions to the industry, or the industry to the attachment programs that allows them to, to get support. For example, in other countries, you find that there are systems where young people are given the opportunity for attachment outside their work environment for experience. And they can also be internally absorbed. When we are talking about the opportunities for youth, for example, even in terms of digital economy, when you look at them in terms of how they are organized in terms of formal employment, then you realize that everything is completely delinked. So they are just left there. So to me, if we begin looking at critical value chains that allows the transfer of knowledge and the skills that they have already learned, and try to build a discipline around it, that is really some models that we believe can be helpful in terms of...
But you see, you've talked of one structured model. Wakili, in Kenya, is it taking that model? Because, believe you me, this coming weekend, there'll be another empowerment program. For example, over the weekend, the Deputy President was in Baringo and he gave 1.2 million shillings. Next weekend, that will also depend with the number of women group and all that, another 1-point-something million will go. He talked about the value chain and the system and the structures, but do we have that in Kenya? I mean, from the way it's speaking. The difference between politics and empowerment, basically.
Absolutely, Victor. That's a very good question. We must look at delinking the two, politics and empowerment. Because in as much as we want to empower our youth, we must also delink politics from it. So that it doesn't look like... You see, if you...
How possible is that in the Kenyan system?
We must, I know, that is why I'm telling you, we must have a framework around empowerment. We must have a solid framework so that we guard against politics of tokenism. Because you see, if you read the works of Francis Fukuyama, for example, in his works, Political Decay and Political Order, he says that when a political party has lost meaning, it will result to such things as clientistic networks, tokenism, politics of tokenism, as a way of mobilizing people. And the reason why I'm saying we need to delink these two is because we don't know when just as you have said, the deputy president today is in Baringo. We don't know what next. Is he going to be in Kitui, for example, or is he going to be in Turkana? When is he going to do that in Turkana? It is done in a very helter-skelter manner. It is not so clear, and that is why, in as much as we want to help our youth, our Gen Z, we must also craft a very consistent framework on how to help them, not just dishing out money and giving them, handouts. Because again, that is a very dangerous way of doing politics. Remember, this Harambe system for decades. Kenyans actually at some point rejected it and said, this is not, it is not sustainable. You do an Harambe, but yes, what next? It is not sustainable. Even though it has always been a means of helping, people, helping organizations and so forth and so on. But it might not be tenable in the long run. And right now, in the 21st century, we are looking at practical solutions, providing an environment where our young people can work and earn a living. Even just providing an environment, not necessarily giving them employment opportunities, but just providing an enabling environment. I've seen Sagaja, for example, he has allowed them to come to the CBD, to come and do the shooting, photography, and so forth and so on. And I think they are doing it because, some of these jobs are online based. I think they are making a living. They are earning something at the end of the day, instead of idling there and doing and resorting to drugs and so forth and so on. We just need to have an enabling environment where people can work, and not even youths, even other people who want to venture into private business, people who want to venture into other aspects of life. Just an enabling environment. I want to agree with both my colleagues that empowerment is not bad. It is a good way of, building a country, building the economy. You must empower people. I don't know, there is an empowerment program where youths were being given, I don't know, was it a piglet somewhere in Kiambu? I'm not so sure. But they were giving out piglets and rabbits and so forth and so on. I don't think we should wish it away. All right? I don't think it is something that we can just say it doesn't make sense. I mean, there are some success stories from the same, and also there are some other stories that may have not been successful. But all we are saying is that if we can have a law, if we can, because currently I don't think there is a law that is governing these Harambes. There is nothing, people just come and say, I have donated 1 million to this group. We do not know where this 1 million... There has been that
discussion in the past. Where Harambes have been banned in this country, not almost a year ago.
It has been banned several times, not even just recently.
So this empowerment program is Harambe Pro Max. Let me use that word.
Absolutely.
It's Harambe Pro Max.
Absolutely.
You talked about sustainability. Mark, the government cannot run out of cash to talk about sustainability. 1.2 million shillings for just 1 week.
Sure. And one of the things the government is being asked to do is to be accountable to what they are using. And the kind of money being dished out in this empowerment program is not even accountable, and you cannot even know where that money is coming from. I think Wakili here has said it well, that we need to have a law. Our policymakers need to come up with a law that is going to give some guidelines. So now empowerment is supposed to be done in our country. And a good way of empowering our people is, I'll agree, is to give them that environment where they can do business. And there is quite a lot that the government can do in terms of empowering our people. And one way is through agriculture. You can empower youth to do this smart farming, whereby they can grow different crops and empower them to earn their living. But with the kind of the way we are socialized in our community, is we tend to embrace new ideas, but when they don't bring some results, now we start asking questions. So I think for those given the leadership, I think they need to come up with a way of coming up with a law that will give this empowerment that will be anchored in the law, so that we can have a sustainable way of empowering our people. Because now they are doing empowerment across the country. If another leader comes tomorrow, or even after 2 years or 3 years, they would not even follow that procedure of empowering our people, because it was just a political gimmick to do some mobilization for political reasons. So I think we need to listen to what our youth are saying, and we need to have these laws being implemented in a way that we don't just come up with a law to fit our selfish political interests. Yeah.
Okay. I want us to talk about something here, but DJ, I want to give you 1 minute also to talk about this, because when you look at the sustainability aspect of it, there are some underlying issues to it, the political underlying issues. Where does this leave the opposition, who are not in a position to dish out 1.2 million, 1.5 million shillings every other month? That leaves your opponent in a most dangerous situation, because you have the muscle, the power, but what about them?
I'm not sure. Maybe Lagat will tell us.
Why Lagat is not in the position?
No. I'm just trying to say, what I'm trying to say is that I think we had come up with a financing model for political parties, where opposition political parties are provided for in terms of funding. And so that's why I'm saying I'm not really sure whether the oppositions are left in the cold, so they will have to use whatever is provided to them by law to do the empowerment.
Yes.
I'm not saying that it doesn't put them in a vulnerable position in terms of standing when it comes to politics. But again, you see, at the end of it all, you are competing and you are trying to build your capacity to be able to win an election. That is not really, that is one part of it. But frankly, if you ask me what do we need to do, I will only tell you, in Turkana we are instead of dishing or maybe empowering people. Okay, there are those groups that we do invite us to support them directly. But we are aligning public works against, that the contribution that they're given also is accountable through some kind of service. For example, we want to recarpet the 250 kilometer road within Kakuma municipality. And we have said that, so what we are going to do is we are going to provide the gravel or the materials, and then we'll have 500 Turkana youth and 500 refugees youth as part of the integration process. So they completed that, and then through that process, then we have all that money given to them. For example, protecting Napu Aquifer by ensuring that there is a proper drainage system to protect it. So we mobilize people to do that kind of work, just like what they say, Kazim Tahani. To me, those are channels through which you build discipline for work, but we also need to ensure that when we are introducing this kind of works, that it's built over time, that one service builds into another, so that resources can be meaningfully channeled where people directly benefit but also contribute to building the infrastructure. To me, I think that is really the way to go.
All right. I want to take a break. I want to serve you tea. This is a breakfast show. I want to serve you tea. Very good. Lagat, you happy now?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Of course, I come from Kericho and we drink tea. Tea is our main...
I want to serve you tea. So let's take a break. And we come back. There is this discussion where there is another movement that is being formed led by ODM Secretary Edwin Sifuna called Kenya Moja, which is perceived to be a youthful kind of an outfit that is geared towards challenging President William Ruto come 2027 and youthful leaders across the country to galvanize as an alternative kind of government in 2027. Let's talk about that. And he even said that even if he's expelled from ODM, he'll still not support President William Ruto. Let's talk about state of politics and youthful affairs in the country. When you come back, DJ, are you a youthful member of the society? At heart, yes. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Mimi ni Salim Mvurya, waziri wa masuala ya vijana, uchumi bunifu na michezo. CHAN imewasili Kenya. Na waomba Wakenya wote tuweze kujitokeza kwa wingi, tuweze kushabikia timu yetu ya Harambe Stars. Tiketi tunaweza kulipa shilingi 200, 500 na 1000. Na CHAN iko KBC Channel 1 na KBC Radio Taifa. Tukutane Kasarani. Kenya ni nchi yetu, Harambe Stars ni timu yetu. Na sisi ni wazalendo wa Kenya.
Hello dear Kenyans, my name is Hussein Mohammed, FKF President. I take this opportunity to welcome you to enjoy the CHAN competitions as East Africa hosts this prestigious tournament. Come out in large numbers and support our Harambe Stars. Catch all the games on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. All of us have their cups of tea. Lagat has his, DG, and yes, all of us. Karibu sana, back to the program. So let's talk about the Kenya Moja. There is that the talk in town. Let me start with you, Lagat. The aspect of bringing another outfit, and of course, when you hear Sifuna speak, trying to bring the like-minded youthful leaders, quote-unquote youthful leaders, to be an alternative outfit ahead of 2027. What is this all about? Well, what would it be all about?
That's not a bad idea. I mean, a vast majority of the Kenyan population is comprised of youth. It's a very good idea. The only problem is the characters who are leading this idea. You know, I've known Sifuna for a very long time. Yeah. Even during when he was doing representation at the LSK, Sifuna is a kind of politician who's just, you know, he speaks a lot. The characters who are leading this, what you are calling Kenya Moja, is the problem I have. Kenya Moja is a very good slogan, is a very good initiative, but the characters they are in. You're talking about Sifuna, Wamushomba, I don't know, Caleb Amisi, Babu Owino. I know these characters at a personal level. There is nothing to smile about from these characters. There is nothing to write home about in these characters. These are just sloganeering politics, which we are used to. You remember during the time of when Kibaki came to power, there was a slogan. When Raila came when he was doing 2013, there was a slogan. it is politics of sloganeering. Kenya Moja, we are in Kenya Kwanza, now we're Kenya Moja, I don't know what. So Kenyans cannot eat slogans, okay? Kenyans do not want this slogan. We are tired, Victor. We are tired of leo tumeletewa hii, kesho we have another Kenya, sijui what group. These are slogans. It has got nothing. Let them show us what is it that they are bringing to the table. What is it that Kenyans are going to get from this new outfit? Just don't tell us that our outfit is about youths. Then what? How are you providing to these youths?
I assume you're sitting on that table.
Yes.
As a think tank. And you're talking about let them show us what they want or what they should give Kenyans an alternative.
Absolutely. I have seen them holding several rallies. I think they are on a campaign right now. They are going from town to town. But what they are doing is just, you know, singing those 1 term, 2 term. There is nothing. Politics of identity. Saying this person, William Ruto is this, William Ruto is that. And you see, we need a clear strategy. We need a clear, you know, framework on how we are providing employment, how we are improving our agriculture, how we are improving our industries, small-scale industries, people who are in the Juakali sector, and so forth and so on. Because that is what is most important, if you ask me. This formation, if you look at Sifuna is someone who is, you know, people are jostling for power. Sifuna is just looking for something. He wants to be relevant because he has seen that maybe ODM, you know, is still balancing. He wants to go to Kandui. He thinks, no, going to Kandui is very crazy. He wants to remain at Senate in Nairobi. He also thinks that the dynamics in Nairobi might not favor him. So he's just, he wants to appear as if he's doing something for ODM. But basically for me, if you ask me, it's just bickering. It's just bickering. There is nothing. I have known Sifuna for the longest. It's just another.
So for you, you don't see any tangible outcome out of this?
There is absolutely none.
Okay.
There is nothing.
Okay, Mark, when you listen to Akili, it's okay, but the whole intention of Kenya Moja, led by the youthful members of Parliament, trying to bring Kenya together in whichever way they know how they are going to do it, what do you make of that?
I think I would first start with where Sifuna is coming from. And him being a Secretary General of ODM party, it's giving us the impression that there is a semblance of some democracy in ODM, and there is some freedom of expression. Because Sifuna, for the last a year or so, has been giving us a different version of the broad-based government.
Yes.
But when you go to the other side of the experts, those who are co-opted to the government, the so-called experts, they are firmly in broad-based government. So I think, one, you would imagine that Sifuna is trying to play the role of a Secretary General. And this, though it has been castigated by some of the ODM members, the party leader, I think, has twice come to his defense, giving us the impression that there is some freedom of expression. And you know, with the politics, you must do your strategies well. I think Sifuna has realized that continuing to attack the broad-based government, where the party is working together with the government, might not last long, because there is a push from the other side of ODM for him to be relieved of his duties. So he had to find a way.
Yeah.
And a politician with no ambition is not worth being a politician. So he has to find a way of finding his own space. And I think that's why they have come up together with Sifuna, Babu Wino, Wamchomba, and those youthful legislators. I think it's not a bad idea to coerce with other people, with the aim of attaining power. So we cannot dismiss the union of Babu Wino and the rest and Sifuna. We only need to see where they're heading. But I can guess they are finding a way of moving away from ODM because you never know. You cannot predict about the next move of Raila Odinga.
Yes.
We cannot say he's going to leave the government or he's going to support the government even in 2027. So Sifuna is finding a way of having some MPs who they have a common agenda of Kenya One. And I think later they will find a way of joining other opposition outfits of Kachagwa and the rest so that they can at least get something out of the coming election. So we cannot dismiss them wholly.
Okay. I'm just curious. Do you think moving out of ODM would be a very bold move for them? Even with that formation, Kenya Moja?
First of all, I just want to just say something before answering that. If you look at how we have fought for democratic space in this country, it has always been driven by a purpose. And that purpose has always been structured, whether through dialogue or through legislative means. So, meaning, political mobilization in terms of building capacities of the citizens to support your agenda has always been in the forefront of every social change that we have fought in this country. Be it economic, social justice network, be it human rights or stuff like that. Now, we are at a point where more than 60% or the average voting age is roughly around 24, 25. And this is by the, if you do the analysis in terms of 2002 elections until the recent 2022 elections. We are coming to that, and I think this is data that is available, that maybe probably acting as a motivator for people to see. So we have a much more broader voting base now, which is really young people, who majority of them are trying to figure out how to live and how to survive. So it is very difficult for me at this point to tell whether the new outfits that are currently forming are forming around an agenda, other than just like Lagarde shown that on Standard newspaper, we are talking about, instead of picking up from the positive emotions that we experienced yesterday through the, when the Harambe Stars won the game, we are trying to bring the people back to that conflictual mood. So I would probably just dare Sifuna to maybe just leave ODM, and then we see how that pans out. But as Mark has indicated, we cannot ignore the power of mobilization they have and their connection with the youth. Whether that can translate into some kind of change in terms of determining a political niche for a person, we are yet to see, because I think next year we will see how these things play out, and that is really going to be more significant. Whether this is a move to test the waters to see how that pans out next year, it is yet to see. But I strongly still believe that in ODM strongholds, the strength of ODM in those areas is still so intact, and it will take a while. And another segment that I want to bring, I think if you look at the state of politics here in this country, it is like whoever is the head of a movement, if he's able to change that movement and continues being the head, they have never taken initiative to prepare other people to take over. It is like now, You are an outfit where you just have to fight for yourself, your own niche.
Yeah.
How you create that environment in which you become popular in the national televisions, in forums, and that propels you to become who you want to be in politics. So we also need to see how these political parties are able to build up young people so that within the structures of this movement that they can grow up.
When you look at the name, Kenya Moja, we have Kenya Kwanza. The creativity out of that, picking of a name.
We had a Third Way Alliance, which was also going to pick individuals from 47 counties.
Right.
So I don't see really any difference. Because at the end of it all, yes, Babu Owino, Sifuna, and all these, I can energize the crowd, depending on what you tell them. But all the changes that have happened in this country has always to address a specific issue, and it has been a rallying point. Right now, it is very difficult. Are we then taking advantage by the fact that the Gen Zs are saying they are leaderless or something like that?
Yeah.
Or we are trying to look at who becomes more popular and appeals to the young people in this country. It is yet to see, because the issues the Gen Zs have raised, if you look at all of them, they all require the same legislators to go to Parliament and pass appropriate legislations to address them. I don't see anything in those issues that are not either supported by law or gaps in the law that needs to to be filled in. If we address that, then I don't really see any new output in the name of Kenya Moja.
We have got so many political parties in this country, almost 90 of them, Wakili, right?
Yes.
90 of them.
Yeah.
I can barely name 10. I can barely name 10, to be honest.
Of course.
But then, yes, it's a democracy space that we are all enjoying. When you talk of, I've talked about the risk of the likes of Sifuna quitting ODM and all that, the party that he's held that position for around 8 years or so, and the party they're talking about, the biggest party, 20 years to be specific, that's a long time in politics. We've seen so many political parties come and go, but some of them fizzle out. You look at that formation, Kenya Kwanza, and then we have got Kenya Moja. But the target group is the youthful category, the demographics.
Yes.
Will it yield any fruit?
You know, Victor.
Yes, no, why, whichever way?
It is not, as I want to emphasize, it will not yield anything. Because again, as Honorable Mheshimiwa and DG have said, we have had, those slogans, Third Way Alliance, I don't know what. I think this Sifuna group is just taking advantage of the Gen Z. You know, Gen Z, they are leaderless, they are rudderless, and so forth. So I think they just want to take advantage of it, to fill that position. Because if Sifuna was mad enough, let him resign today from ODM. If Babu Owino was mad enough, let him resign today from ODM. Let Wamuchomba resign from UDA. Let Caleb Amisi resign from ODM and seek, fresh mandates on a different political party so that they can test their, political energy. Because you see, there is a tendency for people it is easy to criticize things in this country. Even when we have a drought, you blame it on government. Even when you have something is not working out, even at your very personal level, you blame it on government. This is the brand of politics that Sifuna and his company are doing. Yes, politics of bickering, galvanizing people, electrifying people, going from one station to another.
And what's wrong with that? Politics is about numbers. If you can galvanize and get numbers, the better for you.
But you see, we are not at this point, Victor, we are not, we have seen people who can galvanize more than that. Even Ruto came to power and he electrified the crowds. Raila Odinga has the biggest political party Eastern Central Africa, galvanizing crowds each and every other political season. But what then comes after that is the big question. You could be a political rock star, but at the end of the day, are we really creating jobs that we promised to these people? Are we creating frameworks where people can work to earn a living? Or are we just electrifying people, giving them handouts and so forth and so on? I don't believe in this Kenya Moja. This Kenya Moja is just another way of, telling Kenyans, cheating Kenyans, conning Kenyans that let's go to this movement. But for the same reason, just to capture power, again, it the state resources, so forth and so on. Yeah. So if they are men enough, you cannot resign from Moja. We have seen even... Okay,
Wakili, what's the whole essence of galvanizing and getting people and getting numbers?
Of course, it is to win power.
To win power.
But we have seen in this country that people just, they do it for, selfish reasons. They do it so that, politics for some reason, for some people. Like,
let's use the word, it's for selfish interest.
Absolutely.
Let's use that word.
It is a get-rich-quick scheme. Yeah, for some people, they venture into politics just to get, just to get power, to be obsessed with power. And we have seen, because
perhaps this, if someone would ask, because every political move is attaining power in whichever way. So the likes of Babu Owino, led by Sifuna, and other leaders who will join the bandwagon, will have that one intention, and they have always said is to win power come 2027.
Absolutely.
Look at it. President William Ruto is not sleeping.
Yes.
All right? He's also doing his part to win that power come 2027.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
All of us, okay, for the people who are in the political system, are fighting to retain power. So, is there anything wrong with that outfit?
There is nothing wrong, like as I've said, there is no problem with the outfit. My only worry is that, Victor, we are not delivering. We keep on jumping from one slogan to another. Then you question what is the point of charging the crowds, galvanizing people, and yet you cannot deliver. Right now we are dealing with the issues of unemployment. Unemployment rates are very high. We're dealing with issues of alcoholism, our young people getting hooked to drugs, and so forth and so on. No one is talking about it. Everyone, if you look, in fact, someone said, if you come to Kenya, if you're a visitor, you would think we have elections next year. Yeah, which again, I thank the IBC, because I think the IBC, they came up with the code of conduct now. They have a committee which will enforce now, and they are telling those who are doing politics, early politics, they should stop. Let's not galvanize this country, Victor. Let's work. We have the DG here. I will tell you that he's not even interested, he's not even thinking about 2027. Because there is a lot of work to deliver for Kenyans. That is all I'm saying. I have no problem. But having told you that I know Sifuna and Babu Owino, I went to school with Babu Owino, Sifuna was at LSK at some point. These are conmen. These I know them. I know them.
Okay, maybe you know them on a personal level. Fine. Okay, but then now, Mark, look at it this way. We've had so many outfits come to 2027. I'm still looking at that name of Kenya Kwanza and Kenya Moja. The idea of just not so far away, there is one here, and just across the fence, there's another name. What do you think would be the intention?
The intention of any movement or any political movement is to get power.
Yes.
And Kenya Moja is not different from the past slogans we have had.
Yes.
I think with this Kenya Moja, I think they are trying to find a way of enriching themselves, or trying to find a way of catching the eye of the Gen Zs, who have said they want somebody, not the usual characters of Raila and the rest. So with Sifuna and Babu Owino, they are trying to see how they can get that support of the Gen Z. And as I've said, we cannot rule them out of any political formation in coming 2027. Because one, for a politician, the first goal of a politician is the self-interest. Then the interest of the community comes second. And there is no different politician we can pick from our country, or we can say this one is a politician who has the interests of our country at hand. Because everyone, including Babu Owino, Sifuna, Raila, and the rest, they have to find a way of sustaining their popularity. And one way of getting that way of sustaining that popularity is finding a way of mobilizing so that you can get that support. And another way is forming a political movement that can appeal to the people so that you can get that that goal of getting the power. So I think that Sifuna Kenya One is trying to move away from
Kenya Moja, yes.
Kenya Moja. They are trying to move away from the current leaders, where we have the broad-based government and we have another opposition of Kinagachagua. So they want to be the third voice of the Gen Z. And as I've said, even last year when the Gen Zs were demonstrating, I think there were some of them who are proposing Babu Owino and Sifuna to be their leader. So I think they are trying to see how they can appeal to them.
I want us to do this. You'll give DG one newspaper. You can take one, all right? DG, you'll read for me the headline of that newspaper as we come to a close. Of course, Wakili, you also have that newspaper.
Yes.
Are you comfortable with that headline?
I'm not comfortable. That is, I started by saying this, Victor, and I'm appealing to the bit, and I think this is a good opportunity.
You can give Mark. You can give Mark. You can
no, I have no problem.
You can exchange.
We can exchange.
Yeah, you can exchange.
It's okay.
Okay, you can exchange with Mark.
The headline is very sensational.
Now that's better. Okay, Mark, what is the front page of the Standard? Just on the front page?
They are the Montas gone code.
All right.
Yes, and they have given us the picture of Jacob Juma, Mercy Keino, and Chris Musando.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you can take a look at the Standard newspaper and read for yourself. The story is well fleshed out there for you. DG, what do you have on the front page of the Daily Nation?
Why can't you want to give up 60 billion payroll?
Yes. There was a drama sometimes last week before the House Committee. Yes. The explainer, kindly, or to that story, the headline?
It says police chiefs and the commission have had a frosty relationship on the salary matter, and these fishers' fight for control of police salaries has escalated with the police chief vowing not to surrender control of 60 billion annual budget. And by his defiance, Inspector General Douglas Kanja is taking on the National Police Service Commission and MPs. Who will blink first?
Who will blink first with the MPs? It was a lot of drama last week in the National Assembly. Wakili, front page of the Star.
It says great start for Harambe Stars. Yeah.
Now that uplifts your spirit.
This one is now. This is where we need to be.
For Harambe Stars.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted them to do that. Let me also take you a very quick one in under 30 seconds. Yesterday, Tanzania won 2-0 against Burkina Faso. Kenya won 1-0 against DRC Congo. Morocco also won 2-0 against Angola. And yesterday, again, Madagascar and Mauritania drew 0-0. So today we have Niger and Guinea will take on at 5 p.m. And Uganda will handle Algeria at exactly, that is 20:00 hours, that is at 8 p.m. So that is the fixture for today. Niger will go head-to-head with Guinea, and Uganda will take on Algeria. I think this is going to be an interesting match. Niger and Guinea, Uganda and Algeria. It's going to be an interesting match today.
Very, very interesting.
All right, so kumbuka, Chan Iko KBC, this is where you're going to get all the action for the next 1 month that we'll be having that fanfare in Africa. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Wakili Philip Lagat, he is a lawyer here in the Republic of Kenya. Good to mention that. Deputy Governor of Turkana County, His Excellency Dr. John Erus, thank you for coming, as well as Honorable Mark Ndingo. Thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of this show. And the best person to be on the show is you as the viewer. We are taking a break. Thereafter, we're going to Kisumu with Simon Achola. Good morning.
Yeah, of course, we have Chan coming up next month, in 2 weeks' time. So, and let's rally behind our team, Harambe Stars, so that they do so well, because we expect them to do well because we are in our home soil. So, and of course, we wish them all the very best. I think they have a very good coach who has played in the Premier League and has been a coach to a top team in England. So I think they have now, they have a good coach. So what they have to do is do their best. We will support them. Of course, maybe we will be watching on KBC because most of us maybe will be outside the country for training camp. Yeah.
KBC Channel 1. Good morning, Kenya. The program, of course, we're coming to you live from the county where we are at as we speak right now is actually Jubilee Market. That gives you a hint of exactly what we'll be discussing today. We'll be discussing what needs to be done to the SMEs in the country so that then they can actually move to the next level. Of course, we understand SMEs are the drivers of our economy, but of course, in the last couple of years, or in the recent past, they have actually been facing a myriad of challenges, and those challenges have led to a number of them closing shop or alternatively stuttering for quite some time. The question then is that what can actually be done to these SMEs to ensure that indeed they can actually move to the next level. Help us delve through the entire process, of course, is the people who are directly involved with day-to-day running of SMEs and capacitating them in terms of financial support. And on my extreme left is James Omundi Ouma, who is the general manager of Afrex Sacco, and my immediate left is James Donge, who is the capacity officer at Weso Fund. The two, of course, will be telling us a number of issues that actually need to be done and what they've actually been doing on the ground just to ensure that indeed SMEs can continue to drive the economy as they are expected. But before we continue, just remember that Chan is on KBC Channel 1. So tune in, of course, each and every day up until the end of this month. We'll be watching Chan on KBC. Also, remember that Harambe Stars will be participating. So pay your time so that then you can actually support our national team. James and James, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, SMEs, of course, are the drivers of our economy. A myriad of challenges in the recent past. How then can we move, James?
Let me start by introducing myself. I'm James Dong. Is domiciled in the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSME Development. Weso Fund was incepted in 2013-2014, and since then, by an act of Parliament, since then, out to over 86,000 groups, well over 1 million individuals. And the mandate of the fund is actually to provide affordable and accessible funds to 3 special categories of groups, that is women, youth, and people living with disability. So Weso Fund is in that space of financial inclusion, offering affordable and accessible finances to the underserved and unserved across the 290 constituencies within the country. So in every constituency, Weso Fund has a committee that is mandated to run the activities, identifying groups, beneficiary groups, vetting these groups, and finally forwarding the vetted groups to the Secretariat for approval and the final funding of the groups, which is normally done at the constituency level, If you look at the structure of Weso Fund, the national patron is His Excellency the President, and then at the constituency level we have Mheshimiwa the MP, who is the patron, and there's a committee that oversees the activities of the fund.
That's it, James. Yes. Over the years, of course, there have been lamentations here and there about uptake of these funds. And specifically, I'll give an example of Harambe Bay County. Harambe Bay County, uptake and repayment of those loans is something that you cannot write anything about. What exactly is happening?
Talking about uptake, especially in this area, you mentioned Harambe Bay County.
Yes.
Harambe Bay County, our statistics indicate the uptake is around, is almost 100%. The challenge that we have is that a number of these groups, once they are funded, this is a revolving fund. So the model of Weso Fund is in a way that once these groups are funded, they are supposed to, pay back. And remember, Weso Fund is zero rated in terms of interest. So when these groups pay back, for example, we normally start at 50,000, between 50 to 100,000. So when they repay within a period of 1 year, they are given twice the amount. So if they got like 50,000, their first refinancing will be 100,000 shillings. The challenge is, especially in this region, is that a number of groups have not repaid. The repayment rate in this region is relatively low, and it's attributed majorly to the messaging. The messaging at the point of disbursement of these funds. We've had a bit of political interference. This is a revolving fund. They are supposed to repay and access the fund upwards to 500,000, and it revolves so that other groups can also benefit. So that has been the challenge within this region, but we have mounted campaigns so that a number of those affected groups can repay and benefit up to 500,000.
James, is it political interference? Is it the way the fund is structured? Is it the capacity of some of the loanees to actually repay back? Or what exactly is affecting the repayment of these resources?
Two issues that come out prominently. The messaging first, and especially this affected the fund in 2014 and 15. But thereafter, we have changed the messaging so that most of these groups, at least right now, they know that this is a revolving fund meant for MSMEs, especially at the lowest level, that is at the group level. So a number of them have changed. This fund is meant for table banking within the groups. These groups normally conduct what you call group savings and loanings. So when we fund them, they use these funds to give to each member of the group, and the group members in turn, use it to conduct or do their business, expand their businesses, and then they are able to repay. When they repay, we enhance their funding to the next level. We normally have like refinancing 1, 2, 3, and 4, upwards to 500. So there's the issue of capacity building in terms of working along with this or with the groups, mentoring them over time. But ideally, in this region, the effect has been occasioned by the messaging.
The messaging.
Yes.
James, he's talking about messaging and just ensuring that people can actually repay the money. That picture paints a situation where it is pretty difficult to actually give out your money and expect money back, right? But your organization, Sacco, has actually been active in Kisumu County and has been growing tremendously. The question then that begs is that what are we doing different? What needs to be done so that then we can actually reach more beneficiaries and more importantly, have the money back so that then you can actually support other people?
Thank you very much. At Sacco, we are a member-owned entity. And basically, our main work is actually to avail savings and credit services. So as we are availing these services, number one thing that we've actually invested in since 2020, because it came into existence in 2020, February, during the pandemic period, just a few months before the COVID-19 pandemic. And through the process, we managed actually to grow over time from member one up to now over 10,000 members in place. within the same county and also now across other counties virtually. We have virtual offices across other counties, and we also have physical offices, that is Kisumu, Kakamega, and Nyamira. The reason for expansion, or rather opening these offices, is because of the need that we realized, or rather experienced in the process. So this need brought the existence of the 2 additional physical offices and 296 virtual offices across the country. So we've done this basically because just the main point that we've said, the growth basis. The reason why we've been able to grow is because of the capacity building aspect that we've done so far. We realize that dealing with MSMEs, number one thing that you need to invest in majorly is actually capacity building. Give them knowledge in line with the given products that you're issuing to them. You know, when it comes to credit input, you really have to, number one thing, look into is now the aspect of knowledge. Because the moment the person, the final consumer, who is the member, does not understand why they are taking that credit facility, definitely expect them to default. You cannot expect someone to actually repay if they're not knowledgeable in line with whatever they're actually having. So when it comes to that aspect, that's what has actually engaged us, or rather allowed us to grow over time. And on a daily basis, we actually have different sessions of training to these members. Because basically MSMEs, if you look at them in the economic structure, a good number of them will refer to them as the unbankable. Those also have been left out from the existing financial institutions.
Yes.
So our main work has been how can we come in to ensure that now we bring the inclusion, the inclusivity. You know, and as a member-owned entity, we talk through and say this is the best path to take. And referring back to the main vision bearer aspect, that's Dr. Berry, who is the chair of the Sacco. We sat down and we gave an input and said, how best can we make this work? Because we realized and experienced the challenges that other Saccos are going through, other financial institutions are going through, and we said the best way to mitigate this is ensure that we give the right capacity building.
The right capacity building. James, just take you back. You say that the person or the beneficiary must understand why they're taking that loan. You mean to say that quite often people come requesting for money, let's say to start a business, but once they get that money, they divert it to do something else? Correct. So how then do we deal with that? So then we build proper capacity, so then we don't experience situations where you have given out money, but that money is not doing what it is intended to do? Or how then do you ensure that indeed when people have discipline to the extent that when they take money for function B, that is actually working for that function?
Good. On that aspect, there's something called assessment, business assessment. A good number of times, what you normally do on a daily basis is to understand the client's business. What are you doing as a client? Why do you need this money? Number one thing, if you understand the niche, the reason why this money is required, now you are well placed to advise the person. Because the reason why they do divert these funds is because, number one thing, maybe the person's engaging or involving in line with this credit facility does not go to levels of understanding what kind of business does this person do. So what number one thing we look at is we understand the business aspect. What business is this person running? And what is the capacity of this business? That's on understanding the in and outflow of cash within this business. You cannot give someone a credit facility of maybe 10,000 and if the business ability is maybe 3,000 Kenya shillings. So one thing you have to understand the business ability. What is this business able to do? And if it's able to amount to volumes of maybe 5,000 in a day, you can't risk and give this person 10,000 for their daily input. So what you look at is you understand the cash flow, the in and out flows of these funds. So when you understand that aspect, you're able now to give right input and advice on what amount this person is able to get. Then, on the next level that you look at is, apart from just doing the business assessment, upon issuing this facility, there's something called member management, engaging the member until the point of crucial whereby they're able to repay this amount. So you have to be part and parcel of the business of this specific individual.
Great. James, yes. One of the key issues that some of your beneficiaries have actually raised is the fact that you give out money to a group, and cumulatively that money looks enough on paper. However, when that money is disseminated into individuals, you find that that money cannot assist them move to the next level. And some have said that could be the reason as to why most of them are finding it extremely difficult to do what? To repay that money. How then do we structure or restructure this fund to ensure that indeed it meets the needs of the beneficiary. And it is not just a matter of giving out money. And once you give out money, then the beneficiaries feel that this is too little to actually kickstart us into the next phase that we want to get.
Thank you very much. You mentioned that the size of the loans that we give could be affecting, the uptake. And I mentioned earlier on that the uptake of our loan is pretty high. In fact, even in an area where the repayment rates could be low as below the national average of 42%, I would want to tell you that our model, the Weso Fund model, has worked so well in some areas. I'll give you an example of Imenti North constituency, where the repayment rate is around 94%. That is pretty high. And if you look at the revolving, because I mentioned that this is a revolving fund, if you look at revolving, they have received around, since inception, around 44 million, but they have revolved well over 20 million. And they have in their kitty now well over 60. So where the model works, the issue of the size does not really matter. He will tell you, my colleague will tell you, that normally when it comes to credit facilities, you assess the beneficiary, and that is what we normally do during the vetting, so that we start with something that they are able to repay. And we normally enhance this over a period of time. I mentioned from 50,000 all the way to half a million. And remember, the structuring of these funds, the affirmative funds, Weso Fund plays at the bottom of the pyramid. We are targeting the most underserved and unserved. And like where we are today, one of our beneficiaries, this is a group called Bandani. Bandani Women is a self-help women group. There are about 18 of them. We have funded them 3 times. They started with 80,000. They moved. Now they are servicing a loan of 250. Weso Fund in some cases grow from the way to 5, cumulatively benefiting to the tune of almost 2 million.
James, that is in Imenti.
Yes.
Let us discuss.
We call like that group, it has created over 18. Each one of them, through Weso Fund, have their businesses like the one that we are now at Jubilee. We have them running business, sustainable businesses. So they have grown. Of course, we are aware as the fund, we are aware of the point that you've raised, that the size needs to be enhanced. And we want them to grow over time. Because you see, sometimes when you give somebody a lot of money for a start, without giving them space to grow, chances are very high without a plan, like they are saying. And for Weso Fund, before we give you the loan, there is what we call mandatory pre-disbursement training, and I'm in charge of that department. So they have taken through business development services. For example, market access, which is normally a challenge. Another thing is about technology. Because at this time and age, they need to embrace technology to become more competitive. So yes, I agree with you. We have plans actually to enhance the size. In fact, we are diversifying our product so that we are able to meet their various needs in terms of size. Right now, we are talking about a value chain product that targets, the various value chains, and it will start at around 500,000. So that will take care of the size.
Great, James.
Yes.
Is it you've also touched on political interference,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I'm looking at it from this perspective. Each electioneering year, there's a fund that is actually started, and when a fund is initiated by the government, there's that tendency of members of the public looking at it as mali ya serikali. So they're not very much obligated in terms of repaying, or if they want to, if they're repaying, it is not as prompt as you'd expect, right, from a private point of view. How then do we move forward? How do we dissociate this from mali ya serikali to a fund that is actually benefiting SMEs, and a fund that can actually be that actually comes into effect in terms of ensuring that SMEs can actually benefit and not look at the high interest rates that are actually given out by banks?
That's very right. Okay, the strategy that we have is that going forward, we learned our lessons. In 2014, 2015, at the inception of the fund, there was a lot of political interference. What happened was this. The politicians who are patrons, the MPs, interfered in a way that the messaging was not right. They were telling them that this is hii ni pesa ya serikali, muchukue, and that really affected the repayment of the fund. But I can assure you, if you go to constituency where initially the messaging was right, like the constituency are given an example, where there is absolutely no political interference, because the MP gives to run the fund professionally. They do targeted, kind of identification of groups. They vet the groups so that they are able to, fund them according to their ability. And then the committee is able to monitor the performance of these groups so that they are able to mentor them over time. It has worked so well to the extent that in cases where there is no political interference, what we expect from the patrons is actually some support so that the committee can work effectively, because the challenges of finances in terms of running these committees. But with if they give the right message that this is a revolving fund, number one, this is okay, it is a government fund, but it is revolving. It is meant for the underserved and underserved. So them is to help, facilitate the access to this fund.
Engagement. Yes. Fantastic. James, one of the issues that you've actually told me over and again has been the issue of actually being with SMEs is top-notch. That one, when you give out money, members of the public understand that they must repay back, right? And like in government situations where they feel like independence, the government actually started considering the fact that you can actually work hand in hand to ensure disbursed in the best way possible.
Good, yeah. Thank you so much. I think number one thing that we need to look at is, as a Sacco, we are a private member-owned Sacco. And I believe in such a setup, an economic setup, it's high time like the government look into how best can we work with, as a government with the existing aligned that meet the needs. Like my colleague here, they deal major per se, but on this other aspect, we deal both in basis, understanding their business and even savings towards their distribution, other contributions towards the credit end. A good number of them find it very hard because they believe below $1. A good number of MSMEs believe below $1 on a daily basis. What they're looking at is they're trying to ensure that whatever they salvage in a day, they use it to take care of their bills. So the training that we're coming up here is we're trying to ensure that we try as much as possible to help them build these funds. And how best can we ensure that we build these funds? We can only ensure these funds are built if we have now a proper and well-aligned partnership with the government, whereby the government is able to look into how best can we come in to align ourselves with the existing MSME circles. So if you look at what we have right now, like a Fresa Sacco basically on MSMEs. If we are able to partner with the government, work out an arrangement with even Weso team and see how best are we able to meet these MSMEs, I believe we'll be able to achieve so much above 80% in terms of the credit engagement. Right now, we're not able to meet that ratio of 80% plus because the need is way too beyond the supply. So the amount that we're able to is minimal compared to the supplies in place. And that's why we're looking into how best can we work hand in hand with the government, see how best we're able now to reach out to these people the way we're doing on a daily basis and support with the business processes. I believe that will ensure that the growth is attained.
James, is it time that we actively engage private players to ensure that indeed we can actually reach out to more people and also change the narrative in terms of just ensuring that they don't look at these facilities kama mali ya serikali, mali ya umma, something that I can actually take and disappear? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Engaging private players, Weso Fund has embraced that. In fact, I want to point out that we have a number of groups that have linked up to Saccos, and they are getting dividends. So strategic partners like my colleague here come in very handy to expand, that space in terms of financial access. But allow me also to say that Weso Fund partners with several private, only the Saccos and the cooperatives. We have other strategic players like other NGOs. We have a number of players that have come on board to empower these groups so that they are able to access, they are able to grow. I wanted also to point out, you ask about the performance of the Weso Fund around this area. And one of the reasons why the fund has not performed so well, remember this is an area that has been for the longest time in the opposition. And initially the messaging was, get it, don't repay. And over time, I give an example like Mbita where Millie Odhiambo is the patron. We have given loans almost twice within this year. She's very positive about the fund. She's very supportive to the committee. And where patrons of the fund are supportive, you realize that the uptake is quite high, repayment is quite improved. In fact, above the average of about 42%. So private players, we welcome you on board anytime. In fact, I'm also in charge of, resource mobilization or partnership. So my friend James, you are welcome, so that we expand that space, so that we can enable our groups, like the Matani group. They were telling us that they need more funds. We are willing and ready anytime to, link them up with you guys, so that they can be able to access or expand their financial access. Yes.
As we conclude, looking at all the challenges that our SMEs are actually facing, one of the key issues that people have actually raised has been the issue of creating circles, ensuring that these small outfits across the region that we so much like, right, are actually converted into much more structured outfits that can have structures that actually have well-trained individuals in terms of funds management. Is it the way to go?
Indeed, it is the way to go, because if you look at our model, we normally target groups. I've mentioned the three groups, that is youth, women, and PWDs. At the lowest level, we expect these groups to transit from that social orientation to entrepreneur. Each one of them, as members of a group, we encourage them and we want to build their capacity so that each one of them can run a business like Bandani Self Women Group. There are two members who now, own business vehicles, and they are doing pretty well. You look at their enterprises, they are doing pretty well, despite the challenges. So what we are saying is, Weso Fund, we want groups to transition from those social welfare groups, merry-go-round groups, into viable Saccos. And I'll give you an example. If you go to Butula, we have a Sacco. Courtesy, initiative of Weso Fund. There's a group that has evolved.
That's my home village.
Yes, there's a group that has evolved from, that social welfare into now a viable Sacco. And they are offering credit to members and even non-members. So that is our model. In fact, don't forget that Weso Fund is domiciled within the Ministry of Cooperative and MSME. And we want these groups to evolve from Saccos to cooperatives so that they are able to access even bigger funds with bigger impacts.
Bigger funds with bigger impacts. Yes. James, one of the Saccos that are actually successfully operating in this region, a region that has a history from pre-colonial era, colonial era, to actually being on the forefront in terms of Sacco formations, right? But somehow something happened in between just after independence up until now. And this region, its contribution to the cooperative movement in the country is just about 1%. What is the secret?
Well, thank you very much. The main secret when it comes to Sacco management, number one thing is, Sacco management, as I said earlier on, is member-owned and member management. What you need to look at, number one thing, is have the aspect of inclusivity. Let the member feel the right ownership of the entire process. The moment they realize and recognize that this thing belongs to them, then they're able not to participate fully in the process. Another thing that you have to look at is about ensuring that now we spread out or rather push the levels of knowledge. There's lack of awareness in this region, and what affects most people, or rather most MSMEs, is just the lack of knowledge. But now that can be able, the bridge can always be able to work out if we actually enhance on ensuring that the capacity building is aligned right. The economic aspect of this area is quite good from my end, or rather from my perspective and from our analysis. We've realized that a good number of these people, if they're well knowledge with the economic input, they're able to deliver more when it comes to growth, in entrepreneurial growth. And another aspect that you're looking at is the MSMEs across the country, per se. They form over 90% of the labor force. Okay? And if we try or work hand in hand to ensure that we push or that drive this area of the 90% of the labor force, I believe we're able to transit the entire economy to another level. What is actually limiting us is, what I can say clearly, is lack of proper alignment with the given other stakeholders who are playing the same roles. Like for instance, like Weso Fund, when they're coming into an entry point whereby they are working through to ensure that they are meeting the objectives on the ground, I believe it's high time them as the government look into who are equal partners or who are individuals that you can work with hand in hand to meet this objective. Because I tend to believe it's not a competition, but reason is we have same objective, or rather we have same goal to attain at the end of the day. And for us to attain this goal, we have to reason together. We have to work hand in hand and see how best are we able to meet this objective. He's mentioned about they have at least a repayment of around 42%. If I'll tell you right now today, in our Sacco setup, we have a default rate of below 4%. So if I merge the two, I realize Weso as an entity, or rather as a platform, they need a Press as a platform to get things working. Because if we have a default rate of less than 4% and they have a repayment of 42%, meaning we have a repayment of above 90%, then I believe it's high time Weso Fund looks into how best are we able to meet this existing objective by actually
creating synergies.
Creating a synergy that can work through for the overall good of these MSMEs. So it's high time that we align ourselves towards those angles and ensure that now the 42% mark of Weso Fund comes to at least a margin of 90+% at the end of the day.
Fantastic. Even with the 42% James, of all the government funds that are actually out there, Weso Fund seems to be on people's lips over and again. What is the secret? Just 1 minute as we conclude.
The secret is very simple. In terms of outreach, we are in every ward. 290 constituency, 1,450 wards. With each ward represented the Weso Fund in the committee. And then do not forget that right now, the Weso Fund is rated in terms of interest. So it is the most affordable. It is the most accessible.
Fantastic. That is James and James from Afresa Sacco and James from Weso Fund, of course, breaking down for us how we can actually build the capacity of SMEs in the region, so that then the grassroots level in terms of just ensuring that SMEs can move from the A to the key point is that all those table banking outfits that we have in our villages, we have in our homes, we have at our places of work, please transform them into Sacco, so then you can actually create that financial resilience that is so much need from this region. My name is Simon. Of course, I want to thank each and every person who has really made this possible. My colleague Martin Kivuti, and of course Simon Yamatiko behind Benedict from Weso Fund. Thank you very much. Take it back to the house.
My name is Salim Mvuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. And I want to tell all Kenyans, Chan is here with us. I want to invite you to Kasarani so you can rally our Harambe Stars team. The tickets are affordable, 200, 500, 1,000.